had people coming with such enthusiasm that husbands were bringing their wives and their ex-wives, their grandmothers. It was just unbelievable. You can do the same thing here. We can do this all across the state of Wisconsin. It just takes a group of patriots like this to make some calls, bring some more people into the fold, and then into action. Our group, for example, we didn't stop with caucus. Caucus is tip of the iceberg. What we've done is we've channeled that energy of 500 people into a whole host of new postcards volunteers, door knockers, phone bankers, and donations. In 3 weeks, we've raised $40,000 for the local party so that we get Daniel Kelly elected. Yep. So it's all about bringing a friend into the fold. If I can come back here in 6 months and see a meeting twice this size, that's going to be the army that we need for 2024. You got it. So until April 4th, we have a mission to save our state, save the Supreme Court. Because if we don't get Kelly elected, right, our chances for 2024 are good. They're going to mess up the maps, the legislative maps and the congressional maps, and that's going to depress Republican turnout. If we depress Republican turnout by a single vote, we decide elections by 20,000 votes one way or the other. If we depress Republican turnout by a single vote, we're not going to win the election. But reinforcements are coming. You're not alone in this movement. The blue areas on the map are going to carry their weight, but we can also do better in Racine. If we improve by 5 percentage points in Racine, we're going to win the state of Wisconsin. So we can get a lot done together. So next time, I want to come back in about 6 months, and I want to see a larger gathering than this. So we can do it together. We have a 1.5 years to build the infrastructure to then give to the Republican nominee in 24. We'll nominate them about, 30 miles away from here? Yep. We'll be on the big, beautiful stage. 1.5 years to build the infrastructure. Let's get it done. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Brandon.
And Brandon now works for Turning Point Action. So Brandon and I are going to be all over the state over the next couple months, encouraging youth involvement, encouraging grassroots involvement. We're really excited to have him on board with us. So our next speaker before we lead into Scott here is someone who's going to talk today about not just winning the culture war, but winning the digital war. Right? There's a fight to be won online. How many of you guys are on Facebook? Raise your hand. How many of you have been banned on Facebook? Also, it's important to know that while the national media and while the left wants us to get off Facebook and they want us to get off social media, there's a fight to be won there. We need to stay on there. We can't kowtow down to them. So I'm going to bring up Paris Prokopis here today to talk about winning the digital war and things that we can do to plant the seeds with our left-leaning friends in the digital space. So please welcome Paris Prokopis.
Oh, you can do better than that. Hi, everybody. I know it's cold outside, but we're warm because we're fired up, right? Are we? That's not fired up. We need to get Dan Kelly over the finish line. No. Now, how many of you, during the whole cancel culture thing happening with the social media and stuff like that, how many of you actually, not the ones that were canceled, but the ones that actually left on their own volition? How many of you left Facebook and stuff like that? Get back on there. That's what they want us to do. They want us to separate into our little echo chambers. The echo chamber is where democracy dies. Right now, we're kind of in our own little echo chamber. I'm here to motivate you to get additional people. What Brandon was talking about earlier, and I love that. Let's go, Brandon, now means something different. But small groups. Just think back, something real small happened. A bunch of guys got together in a tavern back in Virginia, about, let's say, 1770 or so. A small group of people, and a nation was born. The war just solidified it. It was born that day when they got together. So small groups matter. And like Brandon said, we got to grow this. And in order to grow this, we've got to re-engage with people. That old cliche, we're not supposed to talk about politics. It's taboo. No, we got to get back to learning how to talk about politics. Even if you disagree with someone, you're planting the seeds. And even the smallest seed can become the biggest redwood, right? That's what you're doing. If I change his mind today, I don't try to change his mind, but if I change it, she's going to change his mind next week. But if I plant that seed and it starts to grow, and we part, we agree to disagree, and we move on, all of a sudden you start thinking, that Paris guy actually kind of makes sense. And then he starts to change his own mind. I've got an ally for life. And that's how it happens. You've got to start bringing the people so they can start hearing the seeds and growing. So get back on the social media, because that is the city square. I mean, I almost did it again. Twitter, last time I invited people to follow me on Tinder. So, Twitter has gotten better because of Elon Musk's involvement, and he's a Democrat. You know, Wauwatosa Public Schools, I do a lot of writing on newsundone.com. It's a great website. I just created it about 6 months ago. We're flourishing because it's another voice. You don't have to create a website, but you can do a letter to the editor. The letters that Scott's going to talk about, stuff like that, the postcards. Engage with people. Talk to them. Don't be hostile. Yep. Even if they disagree. Even if they're hostile with you. Once again, you're still planting little seeds. And from time to time when you have to, you got to take on our own leadership. Like Brandon did, and I may have written an article or two recently, but you have to, because they need to hear our voices. And I'll leave you with this. It's just a quick quote. I don't say these things because I believe in the brute nature of men, or that men must be brutalized to be combative. I believe in God and I believe in human decency. But I firmly believe that any man's finest hour, his greatest fulfillment to all he holds dear, is that moment when he has worked his heart out in a good cause and lies exhausted on the field of battle, victorious. That's what we need to do. We need to re-engage. How we got here, why we're here, it doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that we get into the fight. And when we get into the fight, we get other people to come into the fight as well. Grow, constantly grow. Even beyond. I mean, we got to look for 2024. We've got a lot of damage to undo. So, but every voice matters. And now I'm going to introduce one of the loudest voices that we've had in conservative causes. All he's doing is talking common sense. It's important that people say the important stuff loudly and proudly, and get excited and energized. And Scott PRESLER has been amazing. So he's been traveling all over the country doing this for all of us. Not for him, for all of us. I mean, it's kind of selfish for him too, because he wants our country to be better, like we all do. So ladies and gentlemen, let's give an amazing Wisconsin welcome to Scott PRESLER.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Scott PRESLER. I am the son of a retired Navy captain. I am a long-haired Eagle Scout. And in 2021, I was humbled to receive the Ronald Reagan Award for Freedom. But how did I get started? I want to thank President Obama. In 2012, the night that he was reelected, I created my Twitter account. In part because I wasn't just mad at the president, I was mad at me. Where was I knocking on doors? Where was I registering voters? Where was I getting out the vote? And I realized that I was a part of the problem because I was not a part of the solution. And the reason why I stick out a little from y'all and I'm wearing cowboy boots here in the Racine, Wisconsin, is my first ever job is helping to elect now Governor Greg Abbott in the great state of Texas. I knew I never wanted Hillary Clinton to set foot in that White House again. And with your help, Wisconsin delivered electing Donald Trump as appointed the President of the United States. And in 2019, my life changed forever because President Trump brought up the city of Baltimore, Maryland. Do you guys remember that? Yeah. And he used some choice words talking about the city. And I remember again feeling disappointed in society. Because everybody was talking about the problem, they're talking about trash, they want the likes and the clicks and the retweets, but nobody's offering a hand up. And so I said, okay, I'm going to Baltimore. The tweet went viral, everybody wanted to help, and I was like, oh. But within 7 days, we got 200 volunteers and we picked up 12 tons of trash in 12 hours in one day in the most dangerous streets of America. I went home to my mom and I was like, Mom, I'm really good at picking up trash. Her heart swelled with pride and admiration. And I thought to myself, wait a sec, if I'm a private citizen, I don't have the backing of the federal government, I don't have millions of dollars at my disposal, why can't we do this everywhere? So we did. We went to Atlanta, Austin, Baltimore, Chicago, Denver, Duquesne, Detroit, Houston, Kenosha, Los Angeles, Miami, Milwaukee, Nashville, Portland, Pittsburgh, Philly! I was protested for picking up trash. Any guesses where I was protested? San Francisco, California. Now we got a San in the South, in the Midwest. Do y'all know what bless your heart means? Yep. When I first moved to Texas, I didn't know what it meant. And it was getting real hot outside, and I'm talking to all my new friends, and I'm going, guys, I'm sweltering, it's so hot. They'd all kind of cock their head, they'd look at me, and they'd say, bless your heart. I called up my mom, so excited. I said, Ma, I love Texas. Everyone's so nice, they're all blessing my heart. Come to find out it's a real nice southern Midwestern way of saying, you're dumb as hell. But you're cute. And so I'm on this mission now because I don't know about y'all, but I am tired of losing elections. I am here to win. And there's no reason why Governor Evers should still be governor today. We should have defeated him in 2022. And that's why on January 23rd of this year, I launched a super PAC called Early Vote Action. earlyvoteaction.com. Now, you're not going to like what I have to say, but I'm going to say it. It's my contention that if Republicans don't engage in an all-of-the-above approach to voting, including election day, early voting, early in-person voting, mail-in voting, absentee voting, and where legal and applicable, ballot harvesting, that we are simply not going to win in 2024. And so I'm focused on 5 key states: Arizona, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And that's why I'm here. I want this state Supreme Court seat so badly I can taste it. Because quite frankly, all roads to the White House run through Wisconsin. And we must preserve our conservative majority if we are going to elect a Republican president in 2024. But before we get into all of that, let's first talk voter registration. And let me shut up. Yeah. Oh. It's the Democrats. Hillary knows we're doing this. And she never showed up to Wisconsin, bless her heart. I love saying that, it's my favorite. So we're gonna go to input. Please work. Hold on a second. So, Florida. In 2012, the Democrats had a voter registration advantage of over 500,000 more Democrats than Republicans. And despite that, Mitt Romney only lost his election by 73,000 votes. Now the grassroots, what they did, Lord have mercy.
I am so sorry to interrupt. You can tell this guy
Here we go.
is dumb. Because the rest of us would just be like, forget it, look at the little screen.
So,
Where are you calling home?
the grassroots spent 4 years, and going into 2016, they narrowed down the Democratic advantage down to 330,000. And President Trump won the state of Florida with over 100,000 more votes. The grassroots continued registering voters, and they narrowed down that Democratic advantage down to 100,000. And President Trump in 2020 had a landslide victory with over 300,000 more votes than Democrats in the state of Florida. And I'm very proud to tell you that for the first time in history in the state of Florida, there are over 430,000 more Republicans than Democrats registered in the state. And furthermore, we defeated the Charlie Crist, re-electing the governor DeSantis by over 1.5 million more votes in the state of Florida. And furthermore, we for the first time in history one, early in-person voting and mail-in voting going into the 2022 gubernatorial election. That's never happened. The Democrats always beat us in early voting. And the fact that we knew we were leading in Duval, Jacksonville, leading in Pinellas County, Clearwater, leading in Miami-Dade, Florida, we knew it was going to be a proverbial and peaceful bloodbath going into the 2022 Florida election. Week 1 in early in voting and mail-in voting, so it is possible, it can be done, and we did that in Florida. Now, where do you register voters? Well, thanks to Joe Biden canceling the Keystone Pipeline on day 1 of his presidency, our gas prices started to skyrocket, and still they're high. But last year, I thought to myself, why don't we do some gas station voter registration? And what I believe is the first ever unprecedented drive-through gas station voter registration. We were able to flip these two ladies from Democrat to Republican in Nassau County in the belly of the beast in New York. So, we need to be better as Republicans about culture wars. For example, we need to be at every city council meeting, school board meeting, BOE meeting, board of elections. And we need to look for opportunities that, for example, a working class America is struggling. The prices of food, the prices of eggs. We need to be at every Kroger, Food Lion, Safeway, whatever the heck you guys eat here at your supermarkets. We need to be at those supermarkets making sure that we're registering people to vote. So for example, at gas stations, we had signs that said, pain at the pump, vote Republican, or feeling the Joe Biden blues, vote red. And we got changed from Democrat to Republican, got new 18-year-olds from registered to vote by simply being there while they were feeling the pain at the pump. Where else can you register voters? Top left-hand corner. That's outside of former Governor Cuomo's mansion in New York. That was at an anti-vaccine mandate rally. That woman in the hat changed her from Democrat to Republican. Next door, Home Depot. This was on Hawaii, on Big Island, and we were allowed a Republican table outside of Home Depot. Guys, do you guys have Lowe's and Home Depot here? Yeah. Who shops there? Contractors, builders, construction workers, homeowners. You can find a husband there. That is a 2-for-1 combo. Some of the ladies got way too perky over that last one. Flea markets. Farmers markets, those are our people. And this is probably one of the most important, gun shows. I want you to write down this website, please. Gunshowtrader.com. Trader like you're trading something, not like trader like Joe Biden. Gunshowtrader.com. It has every gun show for the entire United States of America, for all 50 states. Power. Why is that important? Because we need to be there registering voters. In states like Florida, Pennsylvania, New York, getting them to register as a Republican. And there's going to be a gun show in Wisconsin on April 4th. We need to have somebody there saying, have you voted today? Hunting rights are on the ballot, vote for Justice Daniel Kelly. Gun rights are on the ballot, vote for Justice Daniel Kelly. We need to be at every single gun show because there are 20 more going on from now until Election Day in the great state of Wisconsin.
And if you want to volunteer, come see me. I'll give you stuff, everything you need.
You heard the lady.
Just let me know.
You heard her. Now, who here cares about election integrity? It should be everyone. So, number 1, we need to have eyes and ears inside of polling locations. That's why I need everybody to sign up to become an election day worker. Now, there's a semantic difference between an election day worker and a poll watcher. And I know it's very easy to confuse the two. A poll watcher is a person who is partisan on behalf of a political party, whether Republican or Democrat, that they are silent and they're there to simply watch to make sure that no shenanigans are happening. An election day worker is hired by the state of Wisconsin, that you are nonpartisan, not working for a party, that you are making sure the mechanics are done legally and lawfully by state law and statutes. We need you to become election day workers because the poll watchers were the people that were kicked out in Philly and in Milwaukee and other areas. We want to become election day workers hired by the state of Wisconsin. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So please become